Where is anxiety and ennui? This is probably the most asked question in the Disney Speedstorm community right now, and so today I'm going to sort of give my take and talk about when I think we can expect to see anxiety and ennui finally join the racing roster and be unlockable for everyone in Disney Speedstorm, as well as what I think their events are sort of going to look like. For those who do not know, anxiety and ennui are our two mid-season racers for Season 8 of Disney Speedstorm. They're both from the Inside Out 2 movie, so it makes sense they're joining the Inside Out season, but we are now well over halfway through Season 8 of Disney Speedstorm. Part 2 has already begun, and we have no real official news on when anxiety and ennui are coming to the game. But let's talk about when I think we have a very likely chance of their events being added. The first factor that I think needs to be considered regarding their release date is the requirements in the season tour for Season 8 Part 2. For those who do not know, the season tour has, nodes that require specific characters, and in Chapter 5 of the season tour, there is a node that requires you to have a level 16 anxiety. Following that, in Chapter 6, there's a node towards the end that requires you to have a level 16 ennui. And Chapter 5 opens up in 9 days and 17 hours from the time of recording this, and Chapter 6 opens about a week after that in roughly 17 days. So, it's pretty clear we're going to see anxiety and ennui join the racing roster either at the release of their chapters or before that. So at the very latest, in 16 days and 17 hours, we should have both of the characters. It would be really weird to drop a season tour chapter and not have the character released before that. It'd be super strange. And honestly, things are looking a lot like how it was for Kermit the Frog last season. For those who don't know, we had a very similar situation with Kermit where we got to the halfway point of the season knowing about Kermit for a long time, and we were just kind of scratching our heads being like, where is this Muppet? We don't know what's going on, and he was required in Chapter 4 of the season tour, and we got to, the release of Chapter 3, and people started panicking. They're like, where is Kermit the Frog? Are we going to get to the season tour chapter and not have him available? And then as Chapter 4 rolled around, Kermit was required and his events got added on the same day, and so I think it's very likely the same might happen for anxiety and ennui. If this is the case, that means anxiety's event will begin on the 26th of July and ennui's event will begin on the 2nd of August, those Fridays respectively. However, it's also possible that they come before then. Anxiety could very well come in 3 days from now on the 19th, and ennui could come on the 26th, and then that way we get them a week before their chapter releases. However, while I would like this to be the case, obviously I want the racers as soon as possible. I think it is more likely that the first case scenario is true, where we get them on the 26th and the 2nd respectively, to go along with the launch of their season tour chapters. I feel like this might be a new theme that we are seeing for mid-season characters, which I don't know how I feel about it. I would like to give us a week to prepare, because you need them at level 16. So release them the week before. Let us have a little bit of time to upgrade them, push them up a little bit, figure out what they're like, and then put them in the season tour. It doesn't make it's not a huge difference, because we do have 27 days to complete the full season tour chapters, but it'd be nice just to have a little bit of a heads up and a little bit of head start. I don't know. I just want the racers sooner, I guess is the point I'm trying to make here. The sooner we get them, the better. New racers is fun, and I want to play. I'm super excited to play as Anxiety and Ennui. And we do have official confirmation they're coming in this part, obviously, if in case it wasn't enough that they're in the season tour chapters. Anxiety's reveal poster said that she was joining the race in Season 8 Part 2, so that's something to look forward to as well. However, strangely enough, Ennui does not have a reveal poster yet. When every racer comes to the game, Disney Speedstorm, they tweet out, they post on all their social media platforms, Discord, whatever, and they say, hey, this racer's joining the race, and it says, that's what it says. It just says they're joining the race, and it's a nice little picture of them, and it's our first look. And we got that for Anxiety, but we did not get that for Ennui, strangely enough. And obviously they were confirmed way back. Anxiety was featured in the season trailer, however Ennui wasn't. And then we also got confirmation of their abilities in the post and stuff, and if you want more details on their abilities, I have full videos discussing that and talking about it. And obviously Anxiety and Ennui are now both featured in-game. You can see them, however they are locked and there's no way to obtain their shards. Anxiety's common, you can see all her skills and stuff like that, and Anxiety is rare, so we do have all of that confirmed. But now that we have sort of a good guess on when their events are going to take place, in the 3 coming Fridays, I think we will see the release of these characters. So within the next 3 weeks, but what are their events actually going to look like? To do this, I think we need to take a trip down memory lane and talk about every mid-season character and sort of how their events have evolved over the course of Disney Speedstorm. So for those who don't know, the first 3 seasons when the game was in early access, mid-season events were almost too good to be true. For the release of Figment, Minnie, Daisy, Steamboat Pete, Steamboat Mickey, all these characters had different time trial events. The way time trial events work, you go into a cup, you play it, however good your time is, you get ranked on a percentile-based system against anyone else who has played that cup, and then you get different rewards based off of what percentile group you are in. And even if you were in the top 100%, meaning you just had to go in, even if you took like an hour to finish the race, which would be insane. But if that happened, you would still get the racer unlocked. Just as long as you played and finished the race, you didn't even need the character. You went in, they were all stuck at level 30, you could just play. You could have literally downloaded the game like 10 minutes ago, gone in, played the event, boom, you get them for free. Again, almost too good to be true. And then so free to play rolled around and things got a little more difficult. For the release of Gaston and Hades, they both also had time trial events. However, instead of everyone getting them for just participating, if you landed yourself in like the top 100% of players, you'd get like 2 shards for the characters, which is obviously not enough to unlock them. And then it slowly got more and more and more until the top 25% were able to unlock the characters. And there were unlock packs being sold in the shop, which were nice. You could spend like 1,500 tokens or whatever in order to fully unlock the character, which was, a decent deal. If you really wanted the character and you couldn't get yourself in the top 25%, it might have been worth it to you. And you could also buy early access. And overall, I was happy with how these events worked. Yes, it was a pretty stark difference from how we had these events during early access. But looking back on it, it really wasn't that bad. I think it was just a lack of heads up from Disney Speedstorm. We were kind of all expecting mid-season events to stay the same, and they didn't, and it was a little jarring. But if they had communicated it properly, I think it would have gone a lot better than how it did. But then things slowly got progressively worse. Oswald, I think, was about the same. I'm pretty sure he had an unlock pack and stuff, but then Wally rolled around and it was only the top 15% rather than the top 25%, which means another 10% of players would not be able to unlock the character and they would have to be subjected to buying his unlock pack, which really sucks because Wally was probably the most sought after mid-season character up until that point. And the fact that less people were unlocking him and more had to pay for him just felt kind of bad, though his unlock pack was very cheap, so I will give them a bit of credit for that, and that was super nice. And then Hortensia rolled around and things just got even worse. Not only was it still only the top 15% of players unlocking Hortensia, but there wasn't even an unlock pack for her. There was only a 500 token gacha box, meaning if you wanted to unlock Hortensia, you had to gamble and test your luck in order to, try and get her, or land yourself in the top 15%. And I thought this was a really low point. I was begging them for them to go back to how it was with Hades and Gaston, and then Eve rolled around, and it got worse from there. Eve did not even have a time trial event like she did, but you had to unlock Eve already. Instead, she had this weird convoluted event where you needed like 5 other characters unlocked to get 1 shard for her, and if you did all of that, then you get 5 bonus shards, and then boom, you could unlock Eve, and then boom, you could play in her pay-to-win cup where it wasn't even regulated. You had to have Eve unlocked, you used your own crew members, your own level. She didn't have an unlock pack, she only had a gacha box, and that continued with Kermit, and pretty much for the past 2 seasons, the mid-season characters have not been good. The same thing happened with Kermit, and I think the same thing will most likely happen with Anxiety and Ennui, unfortunately. I think their events are going to show up, and you're going to need a series of characters, probably along with Sadness, in order to get the 10 shards needed to unlock these characters. And then I think they will have a time trial event, but you need the character unlocked to play that, which really does suck, because it is a convoluted system. It's pay to win. I doubt they'll have unlock packs. They're probably gonna have a gacha box though, which really sucks. Honestly, there's so many little things they could improve. They could make the limited events easier, more mobile and free to play friendly. They could take away their gacha box and add an unlock pack instead. That would make things a little bit better, or they could just fully revert to how it was for Hades and Gaston, because while it wasn't a perfect system, I think it's so much better than we had before. And regulated time trials, I think, really are when Disney Speedstorm is at its best, and the way, it brings the community together. We're all strategizing on the best routes and stuff, and it feels so fun to do that. And it really sucks that's kind of been taken away from us, and we have this new system that we have to deal with, and one that we will probably continue to have to deal with. So for Anxiety and Ennui to roll around, even though Ennui is a common and Anxiety is a rare, I would not expect them to be easy to obtain. I would expect it to be a pretty hard limited event, and if you are a new player without a ton of characters unlocked, I would be fully prepared to spend money if you want to unlock these characters, and maybe a substantial amount of money if they don't have unlock packs and instead have an unfavorable gacha box. So these characters are most likely going to be premium, and not the easiest to obtain, which really does suck. Hopefully Disney Speedstorm will change their mind and make things a little bit easier, but again, I don't know, mid-seasons, they've gotten so bad over time. Hopefully things get a little bit better this time around. Ennui's a common. We haven't gotten a common mid-season character since season 3, I think, right? Yeah, since season 3, there hasn't really been a lot of commons, so maybe Ennui will be better just because she is a lower rarity, so we'll see. It's the first common mid-season character post early access, so it'll be interesting to see how Ennui is handled, but again, I'm not optimistic after how it's been for the past couple of seasons. But let me know, what do you guys think? When do you think we're going to see Anxiety and Ennui? Again, I feel like the next 3 Fridays we're going to get 2 of the events, so if there's not an event in 3 days, I think there'll be an event a week after that, and then the following week as well. Super exciting stuff. Even if their events are difficult, I'm still really excited to play as these characters. Their unique abilities sound great, their designs look great, they look really fun. Anxiety has voice lines. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good time. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not terrible. But let me know what you guys think about them in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.